Alrighty. Audio 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think it should be good. Hopefully. Okay. Alrighty, hello and welcome back to the stream. We are here. We are live. Looking at cryptocurrency, looking at potentially companies, commodities, indexes, all of it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the stream. I got to give you this algorithmic spiel that I've been forgetting to give. Apparently, the algorithm, it helps out verbally stating. I'm going to have to ask you to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share with your friends. Let them know EngineeringRobo is here till the end. All these things. Apparently, YouTube, how it goes. Different social medias have different algorithms and whatnot. We have all these other social medias down below you can find with the links in the description. But with that out of the way, let me look at this. Look at this transition. Boom. Hold on. There we go. Alrighty, this is Bitcoin on the screen at the moment. Abrupt changes in momentum, bullish and bearish confirmations coming in and out of play here. What's really going on? So $18,860 per Bitcoin has been an area of potential bullish support here for us ever since June. There, we've been bouncing off of it, returning to it more recently, experiencing bullish interactions with it up until potential current interactions at the moment. Bearish confirmations near this level could suggest potential resistance confirmed once daily candles open and close with their wicks and bodies completely beneath it. Can we really confirm resistance present overhead at this previous support level, thus suggesting the path of least resistance would be down below here, watching out for a psychological level visualized. Another sort of swing high that occurred back in 2017, this dashed horizontal level is slightly similar to the actual all-time high that occurred back in 2017. Though down below as well, into the teens here, $16,188 is waiting for us if we were to fall to and through this current horizontal level, trying to hold us. Though at the moment, bearish robos here, these candles are slightly unsightly, in my opinion. So we got to go with the flow of these confirmations. Watch out for lower levels down below, potential buying opportunities. I do believe we can be accumulating Bitcoin in tactical ratios and amounts with a longer term uptrend in mind, though in the sort of like short term here, potential mid term here, there are foreseeable months that we could trade sideways, get completely slapped up, down, and around until perhaps we are free from this solid downtrend line, which we may not see until like next year here. So watch out for extreme volatility for us moving forward. Capitalize on any sort of profits and gains you come across during this upside here. Using my levels alone, buying near my support level that we've seen back in June here, you would have been able to capitalize on roughly 15.63% ROI, buying at my support level and taking profit at resistance that has been present for us for just as long. So, roughly $3,000 move per Bitcoin. If you're a leverage trader, you can capitalize on all price action. And so, I mean, if you longed it up from my support level, you could have, entered a short position and then made just over 13.5% on the way back down. But anyway, going with the flow of crypto, watching out for our robos since bearish confirmations have come into play here. I do apologize for an unfortunate siren in the background if that's transmitting. That is not ideal. But as I was saying, so we have bearish robos coming into play here. Technically, we are suggested to heavily consider reducing any sort of significant or notable Bitcoin investments or swing trades, if you will, thinking we're going into the 20s here, perhaps 30. Turns out manipulation, low volume here. What's really going on with Bitcoin? We've been moved back downward, right where we came from not too long ago. So we do have lows to consider waiting for us in any sort of continued downside, so we can't be too surprised. We have bearish confirmations here as well. If we look at previous bearish robos, we can see between 58 and 44% corrections kind of following these bearish confirmations here, which would be not that ideal, perhaps. Though in my opinion, a very bullish buying opportunity, and dramatically, I want to visualize a level here. Say we were to proceed to experience anywhere from a 44 to 58% move to the downside following these bearish robos. That would bring us between 9,000 and I don't hear it, almost there. Between 9,000 and $7,000 per Bitcoin in an extreme environment if price action were to follow through as it has been since all-time highs met back in 2021. While that level is dramatic and could seem rather extreme, I do believe is something to consider, as it does follow something that did occur in previous all-time highs met back in 2017. So if we fail to hold these levels, we may perhaps slip down to and through. But anyway, we will be going over to the fear and FOMO zones in a moment to further go over why it is not impossible for us to experience a rather dramatic correction moving forward, perhaps in the immediate short term here, though we could still consider it a very bullish buying opportunity with that longer term uptrend in mind. Bullish robos have seen some nice gains during some sideways back in 2021. We are just waiting for the return of bullish robos here for us to begin comfortably getting back into Bitcoin in a more significant sort of short-term bullish manner here. Watch out for sideways and or downside for the foreseeable immediate short term, in my opinion, though. Swapping over to the fear and FOMO zones here. Adjusting the no, we don't actually need any of them. Take all of this off. Looking at the fear and FOMO zones here, we can see 3 bullish interactions with the fear zone ever since all-time highs met back in 2017. This dotted blue line on this chart visualized here, a level that we are sort of like returning to at the moment. These fear zone interactions have looked like 45% moves to the downside relative to entering the fear zone range. Upon entering it, 45% to the downside over between pretty much 40 to 170 days of sideways before exiting the fear zone, trying to make its way up to the FOMO zone here. As you can see, After this 170 plus day of sideways that we spent in the fear zone here, we returned to it briefly for only about a month and a half throughout March of 2020. Yet another bullish buying opportunity, far more bullish if you were someone accumulating near $11,000 and $12,000 per Bitcoin throughout 2019. The dramatic lows of $4,000 would have been nice to see at the time. Since then, we've rallied upward to and through previous all-time highs, making our way toward that FOMO zone, though never reaching it here would appear still getting very close to it. But it's overhead, waiting for us near $200,000 per Bitcoin, a far more reasonable level you can consider taking profit and capitalizing on any sort of gains seen from accumulating here during times of extreme fear. In the fear zone, you want to be buying when everyone's selling, and selling when everyone's buying. I do believe when Bitcoin does reach $200,000, there's going to be far more interest in it, and there's going to be far more people then willing to get in. And like always, they will be the ones buying the top because someone has to. And if you're not buying the bottom, you're probably buying the top. Hello and welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. We're looking at Bitcoin here in the fear zone, it would appear. The fear and greed index suggests longer term areas of accumulation and take profit for sort of like investors, for the investor perspective on Bitcoin. For traders here, perhaps, watch out for extreme volatility in the short term. I do believe everyone is trying to be shaken out by some major players, though going with the flows, buying through the lows, everybody knows where it's going to go. Do believe crypto do go up. Bitcoin will increase, though in the short term here it will have to not increase. Briefly. Hey, thank you so much for the appreciation. Yo, we go with the flows of our Robos. They definitely come in handy when emotions may come into play during times of extreme fear here, when everyone's worried about, going to zero. Oh no, we're done. This is technically a very bullish time to be accumulating with a longer term uptrend in mind. And so in terms of these fear zone interactions, a 45% correction has already occurred relative to the two previous, though we are still waiting for a few more weeks here before the 170 plus day correction has come to fruition. But the fear and FOMO zones here, the FOMO zone, when we saw it last back in 2017, Bitcoin did proceed to experience 130% in upside in the FOMO zone over the course of almost a month. Excuse me. My apologies. Sorry. I hope that did not transmit, and it has been silent up until just now. But anyway, so Bitcoin proceeded to double in value upon entering the FOMO zone. So a significant rejection off of it did play out, following 130% in upside over the course of just about 2 months. And so the significance of an all-time high in the FOMO zone for that period of time did allow for an 84% correction to occur, which is what brought us into the bottom of that first fear zone interaction, the beginning of that 177 days of sideways. So an 84% correction from the all-time high in 2017 with the FOMO zone there, if we were to compare that to current prices and our most recent all-time high, an 84% correction from relative all-time high in 2021 there, just about 69 nice $1,000 per Bitcoin. An 84% correction would bring us to the $10,000 level, which is slightly correlating with the relative 50% corrections that have occurred following bearish confirmations on the daily chart here for Bitcoin. And so any sort of moves to the downside toward these levels, in my opinion, will likely be rather short-lived. This will be a very brief, extremely bullish buying opportunity if this price were to present itself. Though if the fear zone here were to come to fruition 3 times in a row, the 45% correction has already occurred, thus suggesting we have already bottomed, and this is the lowest Bitcoin will likely go. But we can keep in mind that 84% correction bringing us to that $10,000 Bitcoin. And why I think that is unlikely is because we haven't seen the FOMO zone. Many traders getting out at these levels here, up in the FOMO zone here, heavy investors taking profits on their longer term positions. Since we have yet to see that FOMO zone, I do believe many traders are still holding through these lows, accumulating still perhaps short-term people getting in during this range of sideways here. Traders getting in near the top are the ones being shaken out near the bottom, whereas I do believe longer-term investors here know to be accumulating through the lows. Bitcoin may not be up perhaps a year from now, though I do believe it will be 5 or 10 years from now. And so it's already been around for 10 years. It's easily got 10 more. It showed up right after the economy crashed in 2008, and it's here right as the economy is crashing in the 2020s. You know what I'm saying? That the 80+% correction, I do believe, is unlikely as well. That is not something I believe it's not something I believe has a high chance of occurring, though it is not impossible. And so it is something to consider. We got to be prepared for all price action, all sort of movements and whatnot. As a trader, we try to time the market, the hardest thing to do. But as an investor, buying through the lows here is always the best thing to do. Dollar cost averaging, if you will, perhaps. I do believe out of all the cryptos, Bitcoin isn't really going anywhere. Who really knows what's going on in the short term here? Getting shaken out, experiencing ridiculous corrections, and losing just about all of your investment as soon as you buy Bitcoin is sort of a part of the process. Yes, always have side cash available is always key to be efficiently diversified for sure. Though while cash is rather unfortunate, inflation is terrible. It is always good to have some cash, more than zero, on the side. Many changes are upon us. Very dramatic alterations occurring. Very big differences are coming into play. A whole new regulatory framework, whole new government who really knows what's going on. But we can't get too political here, it would appear. Though we all know money is made up, completely imaginary. And there's only so many things you can put your money into. My opinion about crypto is one of the best things. If you could find the right cryptos, I wouldn't put too much money in Dogecoin. But this has been Bitcoin accumulate here during times of extreme fear. Go, oh no, when Robo says there's FOMO, watch out for 200K up above. Feel free to take profit more comfortably and confidently anywhere up above that level. Let's look at Ethereum, perhaps. One moment as I rearrange the Robo's present. Fear and FOMO zones are primarily used for Bitcoin. You can get the most accurate results from it by using it with Bitcoin, because as that is what it was made for. So here would appear Ethereum interacting with my mystical, magical box of mystical magic. Hopefully we can find support along it. We have visualized it as a potential area of support here for us that we can hope to find support near. Though down below, technical level, $1,011 per Ethereum is where you can potentially anticipate continued interaction to, a more likely interaction to, especially with these significant bearish robos in mind ever since, technically ever since the 19th of August there was when EngineeringRobo originally entered a bearish state. And then we had further bearish confirmations on the 15th of September. With EngineeringRobo alone, bullish confirmations throughout the middle of July there allowed you to experience 49% in upside on your Ethereum investment. If you weren't able to capitalize on that swing high, bearish confirmations allowed you to see 18% all the way up to 27% ROI with bearish confirmations coming into play. And since these bearish robos, you have been saved from 23% in downside since they've been confirmed. So going with the flows of our robos here, hoping to find support along this visualized box, though we need some bullish robos to return for us to begin comfortably and confidently jumping back into Ethereum. Yes, it is very beneficial to have AI-based robo advisors that don't follow feelings and emotions. I do believe, seeing a chart that might look like this, maybe continued move to the upside could be considered for the typical trader, perhaps. One not using advanced AI algorithms, though considering robos, you might think, oh, buy this dip. If you didn't have EngineeringRobo, you might think, oh, I'm pro, I can just buy this dip. And then you do, and then you're like, oh, then you're like, I'll buy it again. And then you're like, oh, nice, I'm up. And then I'm like, oh. And then now you're down. But with EngineeringRobo, you're saved from dramatic downside, and you're able to capitalize on euphoric upside. So bullish and bearish confirmations coming into play here. Previous bearish robos have seen 70 and 45% corrections. We're hoping that does not occur for Ethereum. Bullish robos have seen 141%, 79, and 30%. 30%. Wow, that's I just invented that word. You heard it here first. 36% in gains between October and November of 2021. So we break our investments up into three different ratios: our 20% support-based investment ratio, our 30% down trendline-based investment ratio, and 50% is invested when two of our chosen three robos enter a bullish state. And so at the moment, significant support is still to be determined. All of these horizontal levels do not meet my sort of like significance on the higher time frames to determine them as the 20% support-based investment ratio level, so we can hope for bullish interaction with them. Accumulating Ethereum, I do believe, is also bullish in the long term, though in the short term here, watch out for, as I've been mentioning, extreme volatility. And so 30% is invested based on our downtrend line. And so right now we have this dashed downtrend line here locally. We're looking for continued bullish interaction with it. I'm not a huge fan of these sort of like dashed or dashed diagonal lines here. I more prefer these solid overhead downtrend lines. That is where you can more comfortably and confidently invest your 30% downtrend line based investment ratio whenever we get back to it. Though you could use at your own discretion this local downtrend line visualized. And then, as I mentioned, we invest that remaining 50% based on our robos. And so you pick 3 of the many different robos available. There's a plethora to pick from. You can even say you don't even want to draw support and resistance. EngineeringRobo does it all. Say you're just like, oh, what do? I don't even want to draw trend lines. EngineeringRobo will draw the trend lines for you as well. Doing literally it all. So there are many different robos available. You pick 3 that best suit your trading strategy. And once 2 of your chosen 3 robo advisors enter a bullish or bearish state, you can invest your 50% EngineeringRobo based investment ratios accordingly. And so you will have to use different robo advisors in different conditions and environments to know which best suit your strategy, and use them to use them the most efficient. To use them in the most efficient manner. Excuse my English. Do apologize. Thank you for being down there in the chat. It's cool to see the interaction. We appreciate the back and forth. This is definitely a lot of information. Yes, this is quite complicated. I'm still new to trading. Ripley's Believe It or Not, though I have been able to sort of take it in and retain it as my interest for it is quite high. And so I guess that's why I sort of say, in my opinion, a lot is sort of just so I don't have to say the obvious, which is I personally am not a financial advisor by any means. Legally, can't tell you what to do with your money. I have access to robo advisors that tell me what to do with my money. So you're gonna have to do your own analysis, do your own research, make your own trades. Obviously, none of this is professional financial advice. But I mean, say we're following Robo here, so I mean we are saving from the downside, capitalizing on it if you're a leverage trader, and we are making the most of the upside here as we do. But you're gonna have to make your own moves. But anyway. You ask if I have a sponsor for EngineeringRobo. I'm not too sure the context of the question. I do apologize. I'm not sponsored by EngineeringRobo. I don't know if we can sponsor anyone as EngineeringRobo. I'm not too sure. But we do have sign-up links and whatnot, all of the information down below in the description I hope I put it. I think I put it there. Pretty sure it's not there. Embarrassing. But we can look at Cardano. Well, the unfortunate reality of certain services is it does perhaps take money to make money, and so investing and trading is more for those who are able to take it on as a hobby and have some spare time and spare cash, money they are prepared to lose if they wish to get into trading and investing, especially in something as ridiculous as crypto. And then, especially now more than ever, we're in a economic, unfortunate set of economic circumstances and all of these things. But with EngineeringRobo's buy and sell suggestions, you very much could make back the cost of the service very quickly. And so it all depends on your skill level and level of attention and sort of effort and energy put toward it. But EngineeringRobo makes you a better trader at any skill level, whether you are a beginner or an advanced trader. EngineeringRobo is pretty much a straight benefit, an upgrade. Additional perspectives. You always want a second opinion. Like you're not gonna go to one doctor, perhaps, kind of thing, right? Yeah, you're gonna want multiple perspectives, and so having a plethora of strict math-based AI robo advisors at your disposal allows you to make decisions you perhaps wouldn't normally be able to make on your own as a mere human mortal being of this realm. Totally, completely unrelated. But after liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing, you can Google the double slit experiment. Long story short, technology doesn't count as a thing. And so observers affect the reality they're observing, essentially. But you're gonna have to look it up for yourself. Particle physics, math, and intelligence versus artificial intelligence. A camera recording something is fundamentally different than a person looking at something, obviously. But anyway, aside from the universe, philosophies, and the galaxy, and all those kind of things, we're looking at Cardano in an unfortunate downtrend here, would appear. So continued moves to the downside are to be anticipated. We were able to experience, EngineeringRobo members were able to experience 150% in gains throughout July and September of 2021 using this bullish combination of robos, though since then we have experienced some very dramatic corrections that have occurred. 67, 28, and 45% in downside following bearish robos during this correction, this longer, more broader term downtrend that may play out until perhaps closer to the end of this year. This year is almost over anyway, but a few more weeks, perhaps a month plus of sideways, perhaps when we can free ourselves from this solid overhead downtrend line, you can more comfortably and confidently invest your downtrend line based investment ratio. But at the moment, though, bearish robos returning, resistance confirmed overhead. Watch out for continued moves downward here. Mystical zone visualized apparently 40 cents, roughly 41 cents. Though down below, stronger horizontal level to consider, 34 cents waiting for us as potential support. We need bullish robos to return here, or at least get back above 46 cents with some daily candles, opening and closing with wicks and bodies above it. That would be nice to see. It was support for us not too long ago, but it has been technically resistance ever since the 19th of September. This has been Cardano. Okay, XRP. So lots going on with XRP. I think there's a whole lot of, my opinion, I think there's a whole lot of, oh, I think I had one too many Robos present on that previous chart. No. Did I? I don't think so. I might have. But this is XRP. So I think there's a whole lot of buy the rumor happening right now. For some reason, I've been seeing on social media many people talking about this whole like SEC battle getting settled. Everyone saying, or all these official people are saying that XRP is supposed to be like thousands of dollars, like it has to be for it to function with these banks, and all of this on-demand liquidity, and all of these fundamental aspects that are beyond me. And so, me personally, I go with the flow of the price action, if you know what I mean. But there are some serious rumors in play at the moment. I haven't seen anything official yet. So right now, a whole lot of buy the rumor happening as we make our way up toward technical resistance overhead. We've been watching out for 46 cents waiting for us, though we do have a bullish combination of Robos here in play now. Finally, the bullish combination that I've been using for XRP has now come into play. Other Robo advisors would have printed buy suggestions from lower price levels, perhaps, but you pick three that best suit your strategy, and you go with the flow of those Robos. So with this combination now bullish on XRP, I'm watching out for, since the last time we saw this combination here, more recently here, I am potentially considering, perhaps 10% move to the downside here following this bullish confirmations, like a short-term move downward, which might have occurred. I mean, we did experience 8% in downside briefly after this bullish combination of Robo advisors came into play. Technically, that did already happen. So with that sort of playing out here, continued moves to the upside here are to be considered, and we can be more bullish on continued moves to the upside if we were finding support above 46 cents. And so in a bear market, you want to capitalize on gains when you have them. Upside perhaps could be short-lived, and so even with bullish Robos here, a bearish Bitcoin to consider could be a factor contributing to why you'd want to be taking profits far sooner than later. So say we experience a significant rejection near or from 46 cents, I would heavily consider potentially capitalizing on some gains, though we go with the flows of our Robos, so we are investing accordingly. And if sell suggestions were to return, then we can begin getting out of XRP in a more significant manner. At the moment, bullish Robo suggest upside will likely play out. Hopefully we can get ourselves back above 46 cents. This dashed downtrend line here locally, we've been saying you could use at your own discretion at all times. We are waiting for this solid overhead downtrend line, though, whenever we get to it. 30 cents has been potential support you could have used to invest accordingly in July there, because we were waiting for, after this bullish interaction in June occurred, returning to it to potentially consider accumulating along this level, as it's only a dotted horizontal level. It has less significance than a solid horizontal level, which is where you can more comfortably and confidently invest your 20% support-based investment ratio. But XRP has experienced 58.5 and 46% corrections following bearish robos, 92 and 19% in upside from some bullish robos, 242% in gains back in 2021, 50% corrections, as I mentioned. We got to go with the flows of our robos during this highly volatile time in crypto. What about XLM? So XLM continues to be at resistance. What are the odds? Uno moment, please, and thanks. Pretty sure this is what I used for XLM, if I'm not mistaken. So we have continued bearish interaction with 11 cents overhead as resistance. We need daily candles opening and closing above it for us to confirm it as support. Beyond that, we perhaps need several bullish interactions with it to fully confirm it as support. As you can see, fake outs perhaps did occur multiple times here, getting above this level and then dramatically returning back beneath it. We need to get above it and then interact downward toward it and hold along it for a notable amount of time for us to begin jumping in at that level. In my opinion, right now, bearish robos are technically still confirmed ever since the 19th of August. We need 2 bullish robos in play for us to begin jumping back into XLM more comfortably and confidently. At the moment, only one is present, the buy 4 here since the 9th of September, coming into play at resistance. So you were not eager to jump in at that level pretty much at all because it's not a buy confirmation and it's at resistance. We visualized down below 10 cents, a little box to watch out for support along that we held throughout sort of like the 14th and 15th of September there. And so, bouncing between a very tight range here, closer to significant resistance overhead. We really need to get back above 11 cents at the moment. If we fail to, watch out for visualized 10 cents, but 8 cents is going to be the more significant horizontal level to consider as support waiting for us if we do continue to the downside. Overhead downtrend line as well, suggesting the downtrend. We've experienced 50% corrections following bearish robos. We've seen 20 to 60% in upside from some bullish robos. So we got to go with the flows of our robos. Very different time here in everything, the economy, the crypto sphere. Very different people present as well. Whole different market, a whole different generation, whole different scope of interests, a whole different. We can consider Litecoin, perhaps. Also, feel free to suggest anything, a stock, a company, that's a stock, but a commodity, coin, an index, anything you'd like to see. We can go to like the S&P, Dow Jones. Oh, sorry, a timer just went off. And as I'm saying that, a timer just went off, saying that I actually don't have as much time as I anticipated. So still, though, we can swap to any possible thing you want to swap to. And if not, we will be back here live to do it all again before you know it. So if we didn't cover it this time, we can try to cover it next time. And so, if you want, we can just bust out Litecoin here, and then we can perhaps consider some broad indexes. But Litecoin, in a bit of a particular position here, accumulating accordingly ever since bullish confirmations met on the 10th of September. You were heavily suggested to begin getting in based on bullish robos, though if you've been following the channel, you've been considering other factors coming into play, potential resistance overhead. We need bullish interaction with horizontal level visualized. Several things we're suggesting potential moves to the downside here in the short term following these bullish robos, especially because that did occur already last time they came into play throughout June of this year here. 20% in downside occurred following bullish robo confirmations. It wasn't until a good almost 2 months later did we finish off with roughly 12% to the upside. So if history were to rhyme, a very loud siren will go off and disrupt the whole stream. And I'm gonna have to hopefully hope that it surpasses. Okay, it is gone. I do apologize. A 20% correction following bullish robo confirmations has come to fruition, apparently. We have already seen 20% in downside following bullish robos, which has been what happened last time we saw them more recently here. Technically, EngineeringRobo is still in a bullish state at the moment until a second bearish robo occurs. We need 2 of our chosen 3 robos bearish for us to begin reducing our Litecoin investments accordingly and anticipate a more bullish entry down below, potentially $42 here waiting for us as support, as it was back in June of this year. And down below, we have lower levels visualized when necessary. We're likely, potentially, if we were to continue our way downward here, we're going to trend along this dashed horizontal level. Hopefully, we can bounce off of it as support, though these horizontal levels, diagonal levels, these dashed diagonal levels, downtrend lines locally are to be used at your own discretion. Because in my opinion, I wait for the stronger overhead, solid downtrend lines. Whenever we get to them, they're going to be far more significant. But we can do some broad index here, broad market spectrums here. Take the S&P. Doodly D. What do? Hold on. I think I can't remember the robos I used. September. Okay. We're looking at the S&P 500 making its way downward here. Bearish confirmations in play ever since February of this year. So you have not been eager to get into the S&P 500 at all. We've been saved from, so far, over 16% in downside at the moment, 13% in downside for S&P investors that don't have EngineeringRobo. We need weekly candles interacting back above 38.12 for us to potentially consider support present still, though if resistance is confirmed, watch out down below 32.36 or horizontal level 29.52, the more significant level to consider in any sort of continued moves downward here. If we visualize the 200 weekly moving average, we can see a more broad lifetime uptrend in play for the American economy. I do believe it will, go to and through previous all-time highs. We will recover eventually. I say we. I'm not American, but the economy will surpass where it came from. It always does. We are improving as a society slowly but surely. It may not seem like it, but watch out for lows, though, as buying opportunities, perhaps a correction, an abrupt move to the downside, short-lived pullback here could present itself for us to get in and capitalize on such volatility. And then, the boring uptrend, the multi-decade moves to the upside will recommence. Watch out for potentially moves similar to like January 2018 all the way to like March of 2020, 2 years of sideways. It's technically, if we were to consider potentially January of 2021 to, I guess maybe January of 2023 would be 2 years of sideways. if my math is correct. But I didn't do math. We got the Dow and also Jones interacting downward toward the 200 weekly moving average for it as well. Horizontal potential support 29,373, though down below 26,306, waiting for us in any sort of continued moves downward. The sell 4 attempting to print as well. I forgot to even mention that. So on the S&P, we have the sell 4 coming into play. On the Dow Jones as well, that sell 4 returning with this weekly candle. If this weekly candle closes, that would then fully confirm this sell suggestion, and you've been already not invested in either of these ever since February, because that's when EngineeringRobo became bearish. Initially, we saw the buy 4 during this upswing. A fake out occurred from this downtrend line, and the sell 4 is now returning as we reach aforementioned support. So we can hope to hold along this level here, the weekly moving average, and this horizontal level, potentially experiencing support for each other, adding to its significance. Hopefully we can hold these levels, though we go with the flow of the confirmations. And with bearish robos in play, it's only fair to assume continued moves to the downside here until bullish robos return. We normally look at the NASDAQ, but the chart is broken, and I keep forgetting to fix it. But this is the DXY, the US dollar currency index. It's kind of like, I think it has an inverse correlation to Bitcoin. So the way that the dollar has been increasing in value here, Bitcoin has been decreasing in value. I mean, bullish robos for the index have been in play ever since August of 2021. But Bitcoin peaked its $69,000 all-time high in November of 2021. And you can see since November down here, it has definitely proceeded to experience upside while Bitcoin has come down. So an inverse correlation present, perhaps. Watch out for that. Down below 109 was previous resistance, potential support waiting for us, though 119 overhead is where we may make our way up to in any sort of continued moves to the upside as bullish robos are in play, and we are above that 200 weekly moving average. But as we quickly run out of time here, only running out of time because of a weird YouTube thing and like the download function that appears. I'm not too sure how it works, but it somehow works better if the stream is literally a minute less than 1 hour. And we are like 5 minutes away from that. So quickly looking at gold here, attempting to find support, though down beneath a support level previously. It is support until weekly candles open and close beneath it. 1680 is overhead, though, giving us a hard time. Hopefully we can get back above it. Though with bearish robos in mind, we have to consider continued downside over the course of time here. Watch out for potentially 1572 down below or 1486 waiting for us. If we fail to hold current potential support correlating with the 200 weekly moving average in play. So right now we are just waiting for a few more confirmations before getting back in with a more bullish longer term perspective in mind. This is gold. EngineeringRobo members already experienced 62% in gains on their gold investments between December of 2018 into August of 2020. And since then, we haven't been experiencing, sideways to now move to the downside here. Hopefully we can hold support. But I do believe that is me. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the stream. Thanks for chatting down below. We'll hope to see you in the next one. Sign up for EngineeringRobo with all the links in the description if you haven't already. If you like the stream, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share. We're getting wrecked by the algorithm. We need your help here. The boss, big man upstairs in charge of the whole thing, not too happy with the growth of the slowing of the growth of the YouTube channel. Crypto creators are just getting wrecked right now, so we need help from the supporters to just drop a like on the video. That's all we need. So. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We hope to see you in the next one. We hope you found value in the spiel here. I cannot confirm nor deny if I am or am not a robot, contrary to popular belief. We just got to go with the flow of that. So thanks yet again, family and friends, till the end. Be real, don't pretend. Everything will be great every now and then. I don't know how to end these things. I don't know how to outro. I'm just going off. But anyway, 'twas dank.